Morning, everyone. Certainly glad to see a good crowd here today. We've got a little business. It's a little bit short on the agenda, but glad to see each one here to take part and listen to see what kind of county business we have. As our normal here, we will do a moment of silence, and then I've asked Mr. Strunk to lead us in the pledge. If anyone has any concerns or comments this morning that we should be remembrance of, be glad to hear them. I do want to say, I want to keep the Hatfield family in their prayers. The loss of Martin's mother last week. Appreciate the court showing up and giving him our best condolences.
Thank you.
Also, remember the Ray family. I know they were big in the community. Donna Ray, Gabi Ray, her funeral is, visitation is tonight, so that was a tragic loss for the community because they're very big business people. They own modern vending, and it's a tragic loss. Anyone else? If not, I'll ask everyone to bow your head and have a moment of silence, and then Mr. Strunk will lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Everyone will please stand, face the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business this morning would be to approve the minutes of the October 8th fiscal court meeting. We have a copy in front of you if you see any changes that might need to be made.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Ranshaw to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Strunk. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Next item of business would be new business. We are opening a bid for the upgrade on the electrical at the Pulaski County Park. We only had one bid come in. We were hoping for more, but we got one.
From Rick Smith Plumbing and Electric. Scope of work and pricing of 33 RV sites to bring up to code and change to 50 amp, 30 amp, and 20 amp GFCI. Price, labor only, $55,000. If they use their mini excavator or skid steer, it would be $50 an hour. I don't see anything in here for supplies. I don't know what.
I think we only bid labor.
Okay.
We were going to buy supplies, so we would be tax exempt.
Gotcha.
We have the bid and the price. Would need a motion to. For
Motion to
review.
accept bid.
Accept or review.
Review.
Accept it.
Motion by Mr. Strunk to accept the bid.
I think we need to review it first, don't we, Mike?
Got to be done. We only got one bid.
Yeah.
We have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilden. Any discussion?
I'm going to have to vote no because I think it needs to be reviewed to make sure we're getting the good,
Any other comments or questions? I have a motion on the floor to accept the bid from Rick Smith Electrical. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Do I have to call the roll? Need a roll call on that.
Turpin,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wilden,
Yes.
Renshaw,
No.
Strunk.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item would be road addition and deletion. We have two of those. The first one would be, I'm not sure what's on top of your package. We have one to take out 300 feet of Grand Trace. That's in a subdivision at the end of Chipola Road, or Chipola Shores, I think is the name of the subdivision. I think I need a motion for a public hearing on that. I believe I've had two magistrates look at that. It's taking out 300 feet of road at the end of a driveway.
This doesn't say anybody's looked at it. It's on magistrates to look at it.
We went and looked at it.
Oh, you did already, okay.
Mike and Mark went and looked at
That's
it.
the one we looked at?
Yeah. Mark and myself and Jason, we've already looked at it. And
Okay. I guess I need a motion to proceed with a public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw and a second by Mr. Wheeldon. Any other discussion on that road? All in favor say aye for a public hearing.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next one would be Lake Ridge. The road named Lake Ridge Drive, I think it is. It's off of Lakefield. It's a Wigginton subdivision. And I've been approached by a private citizen that lives there, and it's been all been signed by everybody that lives on that street to add it to the county road. So I would need a motion to have the magistrates look at that, I think, at this point. I don't think we've looked at that.
Jason. You mean what you're looking?
Yeah, that's fine. Put me and Mark on there.
We've got two magistrates to look. I don't guess it's
Addition, isn't it?
addition. It's 4/10 of a mile long. It is blacktopped and curved, but I need to look at it. I don't need a motion on that. I've got two magistrates to look. Go ahead and have a look at it. Moving on to department reports. Solid Waste, Mr. Danny. Or Misty, either one. I didn't see you there.
I'll go first, then I'll turn it over to Misty for the ordinance after that. We have three part-time employment we'd like to bring before fiscal court today to take place of three open spots that we have. They would be starting tomorrow, October 23rd. And the names are Brenda McCoy, Terriana Pruitt, and Zachary Whitaker.
All the time. Oh,
Objects.
motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw to approve all three.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes to hire these three.
I'll turn it over to Misty.
I just have one property that we need to clean up. It's located at 11 Suetta Drive. It's a burned-out trailer that's fallen into disrepair, needs to be torn down.
Motion to tear it down.
Motion by Mr. Strunk to clean up that property.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wheeldon. Any discussion or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes.
Thank you.
Next will be Road Department.
like to ask for 3,000 ton of rock.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson for 3,000 ton of rock.
Second.
Second by Mr. Renshaw. Any discussion? All in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to ask to get the road list okayed.
We have road list in front of us.
Motion.
Is there any speed limits anywhere?
I don't see it.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw on the road list. Second.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? I'll give you a second to look over those. Ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. Next would be Finance, Ms. Carissa.
I'm looking for approval of the September bank reconciliations.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson on bank recs.
Second.
Second by Renshaw, Mr. Renshaw. Any discussion on the bank reconciliation? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And I also have the September treasurer settlement. I need like approval on that.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw on the treasurer's settlement.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion? You want to look at that for a minute? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any other business to come before the court at this time?
I may.
You may.
My office, for the past few years, we have co-sponsored with Performance Foods, lunch for first responders. We try to coordinate it with First Responders Day, but it doesn't always fall on that day. We can't make it work sometimes. So I've sent notification out to all of the first responders in our community, police, fire, EMS, rescue squad, etc. But Eddie Williams and I were talking. He runs Performance Foods out there, and we wanted to include the road department in it this year. We feel like that the road departments in our city and our county are every bit as integral to responding to emergencies as oftentimes as the other first responders. So this is an open invitation to the employees of the Pulaski County Road Department and Somerset, City of Somerset Street Department to come and join us on October 29th from 11 to 2 at the Hal Rogers Fire Training Center, and we'll feed everybody a good lunch.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you, Martin. That's a good gesture.
I want to make a couple of comments here. We know 2 weeks from today, Election Day. I encourage everyone to get out and vote. It's a very important election. And I know we've had a lot of early returns voting taking place in other states, so we want to make sure everybody gets out to vote. And then also, I want to announce that Fishing Creek Bridge will be closed 2 weeks from tomorrow. If you're going west, you better take another route through Cumberland Parkway. It will be closed 2 weeks starting from in the morning, 2 weeks in the morning. It's going to be quite a project. I've talked to the K&K Construction about it. They're pushing to do it in 75 days, but they don't think themselves they will be able to do it. They didn't realize it when they bid it, that it was going to be pushed into wintertime production. So they've told me that they can't pour concrete back if it's below 40 degrees, which is not good for December, January, and February. So they're doing their best. They're under the bridge now with another crane replacing some steel. that they had found that was rusted out, which is not a good idea to know. We've been driving on it for years, but they'll be taking it out in 2 weeks from tomorrow. So just remember to go around another way. Also, we've talked with Pup and Stacy, and I think we're going to have an ambulance stationed at the Nancy Fire Department throughout this duration, which thankful to Nancy for opening your doors up for that. Pup, did you have a time, how much time they're going to spend there?
They'll be there 16 hours a day.
16, okay. We might ask them to increase that if we get a lot of calls.
They said during bad weather, they probably would increase. But as of right now, they're going to start out 16 hours a day.
Oh, Roger, you're going to have to come to the mic.
Yes, they are planning on stationing the truck there 16 hours a day, 7 days a week to start out with. And they're looking at maybe going 24 hours a day. They're planning on bringing some bunks out there. We've got a bunk room upstairs they can stay at. We've got a full kitchen, shower, everything. So they're kind of looking forward, some of them are, to coming out there and hanging out with us. So we hope it all works out. We don't need them, but you never know.
You never know. It's always good to be prepared.
Yes, yes.
Thanks for your work there, Roger.
Yes.
Any other items to come before the court? If not, we'll move to citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens that would like to speak? Let's give your name and state the reason you're here.
My name is Donald Cooper, and I'm here today to get some answers. You know about them, and I want to know from the county attorney, if you're a private citizen, how do you get to a county road? What's the process?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
A private citizen wants to get a driveway into, to make access to a county road. What's that process?
From their own private property?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I think typically the road department puts in a culvert and that's the end of it.
You don't know?
That's all I
You
know
should
they do. That's all I know. How do you think they get access to it? You're asking the question. What's your opinion?
The property owner has to pay for that to get to it and maintain it to the road.
It's on their own property.
Yeah.
Sure,
They
they
got to
have
get,
to maintain their own property, sure.
they got to maintain that to the roadway. They've got to maintain that.
Everybody has to maintain their own property. I don't understand what your point is.
Okay, my point is.
Who are you
know about
talking?
this- You know about this road, and you know about it.
Are you talking about the one you've been in litigation on for over a decade that you lost and the Supreme Court ruled it was a public road? Is that what you're talking about?
It's not a public road.
Well, you better go talk to the Supreme Court of Kentucky about that because they said it is.
Well, what I'm saying is, you're not allowed to go and, for one person, to a dead-end passway and take care of that road. The state has, I went through and researched this, and the state says you cannot go in there and do that. It's just like a private property next to the road.
Mr. Cooper, if you feel like you're offended, you need to go hire a lawyer and get legal advice and let them tell you because you're not a lawyer. And
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm telling you what I know.
well, you may not know as much as you think you know. Why don't you
I
go
know-
get, why
I know
don't you
what
go
the
get
state- I know
legal
what the state
advice?
of Kentucky said.
Why don't you go get legal advice and let a lawyer speak for you? Because that's not who you are and it's not what you are. And I'm not going to argue with you about something you know nothing about.
Well, I'm gonna ask you, they was told to stay off of my property. And they went in and mowed again. 30-foot right-of-way down through my woodland property.
Go hire a lawyer.
And I've got another bridge complaint. The county came in 2000 and pushed over me to put a bridge in there for one person, dead end passway. You think that's legal?
Mr. Cooper, this has all been litigated for over a decade in front of multiple
Can I-
courts, let me finish, please. In front of multiple courts. You lost. You lost.
Do you know why I lost?
Because the Supreme Court said you did.
There's more evidence to that.
You lost.
There's more evidence to that.
Thanks, Martin. Anyone else have a comment?
My name is Dan Gibson. I'd like to maybe get some information from y'all. There's some things I don't understand. There's a fellow running for circuit court clerk, and I attended the trial that they had about him, and he's on the ballot. And at the trial, he was convicted of sexual assault. Is there no, I mean, can anybody run for office that wants to? Anybody? Even if you're convicted of a felon, can anybody run for office? What are
First
the
of all,
rules about
Mr.
running for
Gibson,
office? Could
first
you
of all-
inform the public?
First of all, this court has nothing to do with any of that. That's up to the State Board of Elections or the County Board of Elections,
Yeah.
not this fiscal court.
Yeah.
And secondly, that was a removal trial. It was not a criminal trial, and he wasn't convicted of anything.
Okay.
They voted to,
They found,
or the
Supreme
judge,
Court found that he was guilty
the
of
ju-
sexual assault.
you're not guilty in a removal matter. You're
Okay.
talking about a criminal matter, and this was not a criminal matter that he was involved in. It was an administrative matter,
Okay.
and that's what it was. Nothing criminal about it. He was not convicted of anything.
Okay. Can you tell me the answer to the question?
Seek legal counsel on that. This court doesn't regulate who runs for office.
I'm just asking if you know. I'm just trying to get this information out to the
I'm not going
public,
to
that's
give you
all.
legal advice. That would be giving you
Does
legal
anybody
advice,
else
and I'm
here
not
know
going to do
anything
that.
about anything like that? Because I'd like the public to understand how things happen. I think that would be a good thing for the court to be for as well. It'd be nice if you
Why
guys
don't you
were
ask
for
Mr.
that.
Cooper back there to research it for you? Maybe he can get you the answer.
I probably know just about as much as you do.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Good morning. My name is Randy Mile. And I have a question about bids. So we just got a bid for somebody to do some electrical work, PC Park, one bid. And Mr. Ranscom there, he decided that he thought it would be a good idea to review the bid. And I'm wondering why you don't take that opportunity. Item number one, you can review the bid to verify that the bid was bid on the criteria that you wanted it bid on. And secondly, if it's a single bid, to me, that's an open opportunity to negotiate the bid and save some money maybe. The same thing happened a month or so ago when you guys bought that backhoe for $90,000 or whatever the number was. It was a single bid. I like the fact that you guys take bids, but I think that reviewing bids, reviewing the criteria, make sure the criteria is right, and maybe like with the fire trucks, go back out for bids and try to get better pricing. But when you got a single bid, you have an opportunity to negotiate the bid and save a few shekels for the government. That's my only comment. I'm wondering if it's possible to do it that way. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I'd like to ask one more question. If he wasn't found guilty of anything, why did they remove him from office?
I had no hand in that. It was.
Well, you
it's-
said they wasn't
it's-
found guilty. You're the one that said it. I didn't say that. You said that.
I had no hand in that process. That is the administrative office of the courts. That's who oversees the circuit court clerks across this state, as well as the judicial branch. They had an administrative hearing regarding, I guess, certain allegations that were made, and and the hearing officer recommended removal, and ultimately, that's what the Supreme Court did.
Okay. You just said he wasn't found guilty of anything.
Correct.
But evidently he had to be found guilty of something, or they would not have removed him from office.
Gibson, you can use whatever terminology you want to.
I'm just trying to get the truth.
In my
all.
world, guilt or innocence is related to a criminal proceeding, not an administrative removal proceeding.
Well, I just live in the world that most of the people in this county live in.
Well, I don't
and
think you
that's-
do, but
Yeah, I do.
you can go on thinking that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Strunk. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. There will be a safety meeting following in this room at 10:30.